Hey everybody, today we're going to make a really colorful, funky Rachel's Rocks cactus. So find all of your really funky looking rocks. I have a lot of strange ones that I'm going to use today, and get a little flower pot. You can start with any kind of pot you want. If you don't want to paint one with me today, you can fast forward through all of that and just watch me make my cactus pieces. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a base coat of white on all of my rocks that I'm going to use for my cactus, and just let them dry, and then after I can work on my flower pot. So as you can see, I have a couple of different shapes. If you're just going to do green cactuses, just do a base coat of green. You might need to do more than one coat. Now this terracotta flower pot I just bought at the dollar store. I'm going to cover it in white just like I did with my rocks. It just makes the colors a lot brighter if you start with a white base coat. So I'm just going to paint the whole thing in one layer of white acrylic paint. I'm also going to go halfway down on the inside as well. You don't want to see that terracotta color anywhere once you have your cactus all set up. Or at least I don't when I'm painting mine. So I just want to cover that completely and let it dry. And here's where I paint the inside for you. You can use any size you want and any colors you want. Today I'm really excited for warm weather to come. It seems like it's nowhere near coming where I am in Ontario, Canada. It was snowing today actually, and we got dumped on with a lot of snow not too long ago as well. So I'm really looking forward to spring and summer, and so I want a nice bright summery flower pot today. So I'm using green, yellow, teal, as well as like this ocean color. And when it's wet, I just blend the two colors together with a brush that's fuzzy, just so that there's a nice smooth transition between the colors. It's not a hard line between the two colors. And it doesn't have to be straight lines. Go all over the place with it. Use whatever colors you want, whatever makes your heart smile. I'm just going to keep blending all the way around the pot. Kind of looks tie-dyed in a sense when you're done, if you do it like this. Color, that's all I want, is color. And then sparkle. If you've seen my recent glow-in-the-dark mandalas tutorial, this kind of resembles the way I do the glow-in-the-dark mandalas as well. I just won't be making this flower pot glow, but by all means, if you want to do that, that's an awesome idea as well. I want to thank all of my new subscribers, and all of my beginning subscribers, the ones who've been here right from the beginning. I want to thank you all for following my tutorials and trying them out, and I love seeing your pictures. I absolutely love it. It makes me gush and smile, and I show them to my kids and I show them to my husband, and I'm just so proud of you. You're like my little students, so I'm just really excited about it. So thank you all, and I apologize for the horrible music in some of my videos. I don't have a lot of control over that, and I'm not very technical, and I'm simply here to inspire you and show you how to do the things that I'm doing. So I apologize for the bad music sometimes. Now once you let your pot dry, if you want to add sparkles, I added hologram sparkles from Folk Art, just let those dry, and now I'm painting on like a half flower, I guess you can say, I started off with a little half circle, put some dots in there, and then drew some petals off of that. You can pause this so that you can try to do it the way I did it, or you can do your own design. It's completely up to you. I'm just being random and throwing on different techniques that I use when I do my mandalas. And I'm not covering the whole pot. I'm only going to do part of it. So it's kind of like someone just kind of stamped a half mandala onto the side of the pot. I'm just a real lover of mandalas or mandalas, however you like to pronounce it. I've become accustomed to saying mandala, but I actually know that it's supposed to be mandala. So, however you like to say it, I apologize if I'm pronouncing it the wrong way. I'm going to add in some bigger dots using a giant paintbrush because I don't have big paint dotting tools for that, so I just use bigger paintbrushes for those bigger dots. I'm going to throw in some petals. You don't have to be perfect. Like some of these have 5 petals, some of them have 4. They're not even. I don't use rulers and do perfect design. Nobody's going to count how many petals, so just do what you want and love it. I'm going to let that dry so that we can work on our little cactus pieces. Now, if you're just doing a green one, you can start with just a nice deep base coat of hunter green. I use a lot of gold, so get out the gold. I'm going to show you some really cool things. It just kind of brings our cactuses a little more alive, get a little more creative with them. Now, all I do is I run a line of gold along the wet hunter green paint. I don't cover the whole thing. I just do like a line, and I try and define that line with the gold, and it just kind of makes it look like a realistic, thick cactus leaf. And once you seal it, that metallic color really comes through, and it makes it gorgeous. Trust me. Now, I don't know how you want to color your cactuses, but mine are not realistic. I do all different colors, and I like all different fancy designs on my cactuses too. So they're not realistic cactuses today. Now I've mixed together magenta and orange to make like a coral color. And I'm doing this, putting this on a round rock. Like it's more circular. So it's going to sit in the sand of the pot, and it's going to look round, sticking out the top. And I use a toilet paper roll to sit this in and let it dry. It's really hard to paint certain cactus pieces. You have to wait for them to dry and flip them over and work on the other side. All right, I've got a really thin rock here that I'm going to paint with a leaf green color. I start with the leaf green, and then I slap on a bunch of gold. So it's going to be a metallic leaf green when I'm done. And if you hear any noises, my cat is bothering me right now, and he wants to play. So he might disrupt my video. Now I'm doing an eggplant colored one as well. I'll go over it with you when I do the second coat, but I basically put a deep purple on it and a bit of gold and a bit of hunter green and just kind of smothered it on. We're going to go back to it after. I have a lot of really strange shaped rocks. I love collecting rocks just for cactus. All the really funky shaped ones work really well for cactus pieces. So you have some weird ones, put them aside and make a cactus with them. I promise you, you won't regret it. Any rock really can be a cactus. Just be creative with it. All right, so I'm going back to the eggplant one. I'm smothering it with a deep purple, some hunter green while it's still wet, and then I'm going to slap on some gold, and then I'm just going to smother it all together so that it's purple, metallic eggplant cactus, and it's gorgeous. And when it's sealed, it's even more gorgeous because that purple metallic is just beautiful. All right, I also like to have bright ones that are orange or yellow or a little bit of both. So this one I'm going to coat in a bright yellow and gold, and I'm going to let it dry, and I'm going to add a little bit of orange to the one side of it. Just brush of color onto it of the orange. I'm not going to do anything like really fancy to it. This one looks a bit like a pickle. But I'll show you what I do with it once I've smothered on some green and some gold and let it dry. My leaf green one, that is leaf green and gold mixed together, it's really flat. I'm going to take a dotting tool and some dark brown paint and put some dots evenly. I'm going to try and make it even, but once again, I don't use any rulers or anything. This is just going by eye. Once those brown dots are dry, I'm going to add a dot of gold right on top of the brown. Just a smaller dot. You don't have to do this either. You can do whatever you want with your pieces. I'm just giving you some ideas to work with. Now my pickle rock, I'm going to add some white dots just like I did with the brown ones on the leaf one. And this is something you have to like wait for sides to dry and then flip it over and work on each line of dots. Now once those dots are dry, I'm going to add little white hairs with a fine paintbrush. A lot of you ask about my really fine paintbrushes. They're curved because I leave them in the glass of water. There's nothing fancy about them. And they're fine because I cut away 98% of the hairs from my paintbrush. So I'm left with a very, very tiny paintbrush to use. Now that that's all done, I have all of my little pieces ready to go. You can pause this and use some of my ideas. I added dark green and light green and some gold for that one. There's a little smudge of orange on the side of that one. You can take a look at my Pinterest or Rachel's Rocks on Facebook too at some of my previous cactuses for some more ideas, because there might not be these ones, but there might be some other cool ones that you like. I promise when you seal them and you see that gold, it makes a really big difference. Now they're going to get sealed. We're going to deal with the sand. I bought some play sand. It's been cleaned and filtered. It's safe and non-toxic for kids to play in, so we use that for my cactuses. I put tape over a little hole in the bottom so the sand doesn't leak out. You might have a pot that doesn't have a hole in the bottom, so you don't have to do that part. Don't breathe in that dust because it's yucky. I filled it almost all the way to the top, and now I'm going to pick my little cactus pieces that I'm going to put in. I've got a little bit of a selection here. There it is. Isn't it lovely? It's so beautiful and colorful. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you try it. And thank you so much for watching.